Clear prop. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Captain Lawrence. Welcome to my channel. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. I just want to say thank you guys very much. And today I have something pretty interesting for you guys. So, as you all know, or if you don't know, I am a commercial airplane and helicopter pilot. And what I wanted to do today was give you guys a way in which you can do the stuff that I do at home. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a couple of aerobatic maneuvers that I've done in real life using a Yak 52. We're then going to go into DCS with virtual reality, and I'm going to record that process in DCS to show you just how realistic DCS is compared to the real thing. And then you guys can follow those steps at home and you can actually fly the Yak 52 like I do in real life. I think it'll be pretty cool. I hope you guys really enjoy this video. My fiance's brother was selling his HTC Vive, and we're gonna take that virtual reality headset and see if we can actually replicate IRL in DCS. Now, if you're wondering why I've chosen DCS, I've flown on Microsoft Flight Simulator X, I've flown on the newest Flight Simulator 2020, I've tried a couple of different other simulators, and to be honest, DCS provides the most realistic flying experience. I don't mean from a perspective of it looks the best or things look the most realistic, but the flying dynamics or the way the aircraft handles when you give certain inputs, DCS is by far the best. And the guys that actually create the models, the Yak 52 is phenomenal. The way it starts up, the way it taxis, the way it runs, the way it does everything is exactly like the real one. And I'm going to show you guys how to start it up, how to taxi the aircraft, how to actually take off, what altitudes we do aerobatics at, and then we're going to do some basic aerobatics, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. So if you do, please consider giving a thumbs up. Thank you very much for coming to the channel, and if you enjoy this kind of content, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below, hit the little bell icon, which will let you know when I upload another video. And as I said, we have reached 1,000 subs. Now I feel like I've reached a milestone where I really want to create nice content for you guys, and so I'll be uploading a video once a week, primarily to do with flying. Obviously, I'm also doing quite a bit of training, so if you guys would like to see some fitness training, diet, that type of stuff as well, what it takes to actually be an athletic pilot and pull some of the G-force that I do. And if you guys haven't seen some of those videos that I've made about pulling G-force, you can go check that out on my TikTok channel. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard enough nonsense from me. The next clip you see will be me in the plane. I'll be doing a voiceover on what exactly it is that I'm doing, and then we will jump into DCS and I'll show you guys how you can replicate the IRL experience at home. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Right, welcome to the Yak 52 cockpit. So first things first, on the left hand side we have 6 switches. We only need 3 of them: the flight instruments, the landing gear lights, and the intercom. Making sure that the mags are off. You'll see that nothing's actually switched on because the master's not on, and the reason for that is we want to prime the aircraft first. Priming takes quite a while. We do 7 primes for cold, and those go into the cylinder. Then we turn the primer to the other side and we do 7 primes into the carburetor, and we then lock it in the center. And something that I'm checking while I'm actually priming the engine is that the fuel pressure needle actually moves and actually increases, showing that I'm actually priming the system. Now moving towards the back on the right hand side, we have the radio, the transponder, which should be off because we don't need them at this point. Now the master and the ignition switch go on. You can see the light come up because it's not charging. We take a good look around, and now we're going to start the machine. We do that by pushing the starter button, which will initially ignite, and then we switch the mags on, and away she goes. Now we want to slowly increase the throttle up to idle, where we can let her warm up. Right, what's up guys? Welcome to the Yak 52. So we're on the ramp here, and I'm gonna go through the startup process. There is quite a busy training airfield here today. We have a Spitfire doing a type rating, I think, and an A4 just about to take off on a little sortie. Cool. Some F-16s flying over as well. I think we have one more visitor. Here he comes. Damn. That was so cool. Okay, so welcome to the Yak 52. First of all, the interior of this aircraft is exactly like the real one. It's actually amazing, the modeling that they've done in here. So let's get straight into the startup process. If you guys would like a detailed startup process, I'll do another video for that. But let's just quickly run through the process. So this is the air bottle. We will switch in all of our little auxiliary switches here. Full fire. We'll make sure our fuel cutoff is forward and open. Right, before we switch on, we will prime the machine. So one side is priming the cylinders, the other side is priming the carburetor. We will now switch on the battery. Everything comes to life. You can hear the Spitfire taking off. Man, that sounds good. Right, we will leave the generator off until we've actually started the machine. Cowl flaps and oil flaps can go open. Right, there we go, carb heat. Right, and we're ready to start. So, starting process is pretty simple. Our little starter button has its own ignition, and so it'll actually fire on the starter button, and then we have to flick over the mags. So, make sure there's no one behind us. And here we go. Beautiful. Started up nicely. We have our oil pressure and our fuel pressure up. That looks pretty good. Right, you can see here we're discharging. So we want to flick on that generator. And now if we open the power bit, you'll see the generator light goes off. And we have a positive charge. Right, let's close the canopy, make it a little bit quieter. While we're heading out there, we'll let the engine warm up. And we will talk about the steering in this machine. So let's just make sure that all the... I can even hear the stops. That is so cool. You can hear the air flowing through. So when you have the brakes applied like they are over here, if I apply a rudder input, it is actually differential braking, and so as I push the left rudder pedal, it's actually throwing the all the air over to the left hand side, and so that brake will apply. If I push it to the right, it's throwing it to the right wheel, and it will brake on the right hand side because the nose wheel is free castering. Right, we'll release the brakes and we'll slowly start taxiing out there. So you'll see if I want to turn, I've got to apply the rudder pedal and then grab and release the brake. Now if you have the brake on an axis, like on a trigger that has you know an actual axis with multiple points, that would be ideal, because in the Yak you can actually sort of half press it and you'll get a nice gentle amount of brakes. In this it's either full brakes or no brakes, because I'm just using it on the trigger button. But it does still work. You just got to take your time, just take it nice and slow, and if you're going to bring it to a stop, just stop it in multiple pieces like that. Alright, so we're going to take up to 60%, feather the prop, make sure it's working, and it actually shows the correct indications. It's got a reduction in propeller percentage and an increase in manifold pressure. The real one does drop quite a considerable amount more, like it makes a much more violent sort of drop, but this is really good, exactly how it should be. Right, we'll check each mag. No drop at all on any of the mags, so these ones are absolutely perfectly maintained Yak 52. Right, and bring it all the way back down to idle. Cool, so our temperature there is just coming up into the green. All temperatures just touched the bottom of the yellow, so we're ready to go. Runway is clear. Right, welcome back to the Yak 52 again. So for the takeoff, it's pretty simple. We line up on the runway. We're then going to accelerate fairly quickly to get a lot of airflow over the tail, because we need that left rudder in order to maintain straight down the runway. As soon as it starts to move, we're going to reduce the weight on the nose by applying back pressure on the stick, keeping straight the whole time. The Yak 52 accelerates really quickly, and so it'll get up to speed really fast. Once we get to about 100 kilometers an hour, we should be off the runway, and you'll see now she's already flying. It's a beautiful machine. It just about flies itself, especially if you have the trim in the correct place. So gate open, and we will raise the landing gear. You'll see the little stick on the nose goes down. There's also two on the wings. They both go down into the wing when the gear comes up. And we will reduce the RPM down to 82% and 800 millimeters of mercury for climb out, and away we go. Right, and away we go. You can see a lot of left rudder required to keep us straight. About 110 kilometers an hour. Rotate, and away we go. Right, gear up. And see our little gear stick go away. Ones on our wings have also disappeared, and we've got 3 reds showing us that the gear is up. Right, as we climb up out of here, we're at 102% on the RPM percentage. We want to bring that back down to 82 for the climb. It's close enough. And we want 800 millimeters of mercury on the manifold pressure. 200 kilometers an hour will be good for the climb. Climbing at 500 meters a minute, I believe that is. Okay, we're going to climb up to 1,000 meters, and we're going to go through a few aerobatic maneuvers and have a look at how realistically this machine flies the aerobatic maneuvers compared to the real one. At the moment, the visuals inside here are exactly like a Yak 52. The way the cowling looks as you're climbing, the dash, the seating, the sort of worn out internal materials, everything just looks really, really good. The sounds are actually unbelievable. They sound exactly like a Yak 52. Even the difference between having the canopy open with the engine running and the canopy closed, it's very, very lifelike. If you guys didn't know, I'm flying in VR, so this is a very immersive feeling, and the size of the canopy and the sort of the way it looks around me is exactly like the real one, even down to the little ball that you pull to unlatch the canopy. Right, so welcome back to the cockpit. So the first thing we're going to do is an Immelman, which is a half inside loop with a half roll at the top. This was right in the beginning when I started flying the Yak 52, and I was getting used to how much forward stick was required to maintain inverted, how much stick you would use left and right to roll out nicely, how much rudder was required to coordinate the turn so you get a nice actual kind of roll. This here is just a steep turn, maintaining this kind of position here. As you can see, it's a pretty cloudy day, and the area that I'm flying in is nice and clear so that we can do aerobatics. Now, the main thing I want you to take away from this particular footage is look how the aircraft flies, and you can see it's got a almost heavy look about it. The Yak 52 is a beautiful aircraft to fly, but it does feel like a heavy plane. I mean, it is a heavy plane for doing aerobatics. It does have a lot of inertia, and so when you do things, it takes time for the aircraft to react. And I think DCS, the Yak 52 in DCS has done a great job of replicating what this aircraft should look and feel like while doing aerobatics. Okay, we're at 250 kilometers an hour, we're at 1,000 meters, and we'll start doing some aerobatics. So let's start off with something simple. We'll just do a half Cuban. So we'll get up to 300 kilometers an hour. There we are, and up we go. We pull about 3G here over the top. We need a lot of left rudder to keep her straight down that runway. Down to 45, and half a roll, and out. That felt real good. Right, let's try a 4-point roll. So looking straight ahead, roll to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit sensitive on the old rudder, but it flies very lifelike. It feels how it should. It stops the way it should. Really good. Okay, let's go for the stall turn. We will go up into the vertical and stop. Nice, straight up, 100 kilometers an hour, and over we go. Right pedal, push, and left pedal to stop, and out. Boom. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, let's try something different. We're going to go up for the stall turn, we're going to come back down, and we're going to do half a roll on the exit. So straight up again. This time we'll stall a bit faster, just above 100 kilometers an hour this time. Over we go. Bit of left pedal to stop, and half a roll, and out. Beautiful. And with all that speed, we'll pull into 45, and we'll go 1, 2. Keep her climbing, keep her climbing, keep her climbing, keep her climbing, keep her climbing. 150 kilometers an hour. A lot of left pedal, and then as she speeds up, start releasing some of that pedal. Nice. And let's do a slow roll with all the speed. So we're going to roll to the right, nice and slowly. pretty good. Felt pretty happy with that. A little bit of a descent at the last section, but that's all good. Right, let's try a loop. So up we go. We've got more than 250 kilometers an hour. So nice loop over the top, lots of left pedal now. Relax a little bit over the top and pull through the vertical down. Nice and hard. And out. Beauty. Right, let's try some snap rolls. Now, this is a contention point for me when it comes to any simulator. They never do snap rolls properly. So we've got quite a lot of speed, which is good. We're going to pull up to 45 and we're going to try one positive snap roll and go. That wasn't actually too bad. It's still tracking. It's still got the 45 and we'll push out. That was actually really good. I would say that the snap roll feels a little bit slow, a little bit sluggish. It doesn't seem to actually snap more than it seems to sort of fly around in sort of a high alpha maneuver. But let's try the negative snap roll and see how we go. So we'll roll to inverted and we'll pick up some airspeed and we'll push around the bottom up to 45 and here we go. 1.5. Keep it climbing at 45. A little bit shallow there. A little bit of an over rotation, but otherwise the negative snap roll actually feels really good. Let's try that again. We'll roll to inverted. This time we're a bit slow. We're at 200. So push 1.5. I actually stopped a little bit soon there, but that felt really good. The snap rolls are really lifelike, especially the negative snap roll. I'd say the positive one is a bit mushy. It feels a bit mushy to me anyway. But the negative snap rolls are amazing. They feel exactly like the real one should. And you've got the correct inputs as well. You've got cross controlling, you've got left aileron, right rudder and forward stick in order to get it to do a negative snap roll. We could actually try one from the upright. We'll go forward, we'll do one to the right this time. So we're going to go forward, left rudder and right aileron. Nice. That was great. Okay, so let's gain a little bit of altitude, and what we'll do next is a spin. So spins are another thing that usually give a simulator a really hard time, because as soon as you're at a slow speed, you're in that stalled condition, they tend to do some funny things. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring it all the way back to the stall. We're going to let it stall in any direction that the plane wants to at that particular moment in time. So we bring that back to idle and we wait for it to slow down. So I got the ball nicely in the middle there, and we're just going to pull right up and see where she's going left. So we'll give left pedal. Beautiful. Full power, and we'll stop that. Oh, nice. And out. That was amazing. That felt so lifelike. The way it looked, the way it felt, you know, that sort of heavy, lumbering sort of spin. Beautiful. Alright, let's do another half given. All the way through. And we'll do half a snap and see how we go. We'll do negative snap. Nice. Fantastic. A little bit of rudder there on the exit to keep it nice and straight. And if you're looking at the ball and you're going, oh man, that's not very coordinated, let me tell you now, when you fly aerobatics, you're trying to fly along a line. Everything you do makes you hit the side of the canopy or trying to throw you out of your seat. It's all about making it look good for the judges. Man, I am thoroughly enjoying this. Right, let's try a tail slide. So straight up. I'm going to reduce the power, keep it nice and straight. Straight up, straight up, straight up. And we'll pull so that the nose falls forward. Beautiful. And even tucks under. Straight down and out. Now let's have a look how much we rotated off. Oh yeah, about 30 degrees we rotated off or so, but that's fine. I mean, you actually saw it sort of turn at the top there. That might have been a little bit of aileron I had, or a little bit of torque. But other than that, that was amazing. That felt exactly like a tail slide should feel. Okay, and let's go down there. We're going to do a low approach. We'll do a pass over the runway, nice and low. And then we'll come back in for a landing. Right on that VNE, beautiful. And let's pull up into the 45, 1, 2, and go. That snap roll in there. Fantastic. Alrighty. Let's head back and go land this plane and see how she lands. Now, there is one particular thing that I've found with this machine, or this module in DCS, that just is probably the only portion that really needs to be fixed, and that is the trim wheel. It doesn't matter where you trim the wheel, so I'll trim it to full up trim. And now if I level off here in the downwind and I release the control, it will still pitch forward. And if I trim it all the way forward, nothing actually changes. It's still, as you can see, it's still pitching forward, but at the same rate. It should be wanting to almost dive into the ground at this point, but it's pretty much still the same as it was. So I don't think the trim actually does much, and that's one thing that could be fixed. But other than that, this machine flies, sounds, and behaves exactly like a Yak 52 should, and it's pretty amazing. I can do stuff in here as if it was the real one, so very, very happy about that. Right, below 200 we will go for the gear down. There are those three little sticks, you can see them, and we have 3 greens. We will approach at about 170, 180 kilometers an hour for now, and once we turn on to finals, we'll get it below 170 kilometers an hour. 170, there it is, and we will put the flaps down. And as you can see, the nose pitches up quite rapidly and it slows down, very much like the real thing. These are very big draggy flaps. They create a huge amount of camber on the wing, and what that allows you to do is come in with power, and as you can see, we've got really good vision of the runway, but we're only at 150 kilometers an hour, which is exactly what they're meant for. Create that drag and change the center of pressure of the wing so that we fly with our nose down attitude on the approach. A little bit fast, but that's okay. These flaps have a lot of drag. Right, landing the Yak 52 at idle, we just hold the nose up, keep holding it up, keep holding it up, keep holding it up, and then it'll come down and touch the ground on its own. As the aircraft starts to slow down, we can retract the flaps and we can apply the brakes. Now, the one thing that I can't do in the sim is apply the brakes gradually like I can in the real one, but the sounds of the air moving between the differential braking, or when I'm squeezing the actual brake handle, it all sounds the same. Even reducing the power with the generator light coming on, that even works in DCS, so have a look at this. Right, and we'll reduce the power to idle. Slowly hold her off. Hold her off, hold her off, hold her off. And hold that nose wheel up. Nice. Nose wheel comes down. And we'll slowly apply the brakes. And we can actually vacate here at this first turnout if we can slow it down nicely. As I said, the brakes are a little bit sensitive, so you do need to pump them if you've only got a button to use the brakes. Otherwise, if you have an axis, a trigger axis, that would be ideal. You can sort of half pull them and have a constant amount of brake. Right, as we vacate here, we will put the flaps up. Okay. Now in the real one we'd run her up to 60%. And we'd hold her there. After about 30 seconds or so we'd bring her back to idle. And then we reach over here to our mags. 1, 2 and 3. And there we go. We will put our brakes on, so pull the brake and put our little lock in. Now the brakes are locked on, and we will switch off our 3 main switches over here, and boom. Right guys, so that has been the Yak 52. There's actually another Yak 52 just over there going for a fly. Beautiful. It sounds exactly like the real one. It looks the same. Oh man, they just did a really good job. Anyways guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you'd like to see more videos. And if you have any suggestions or any comments, please leave them down below. I'd be more than happy to have a look at them. And if you really enjoyed this kind of stuff, you can go follow me on Instagram as well.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I enjoyed making it. It was absolutely fantastic. I love flying, and this is the kind of content I would actually like to make. So if you guys enjoyed it, please consider subscribing down below. As I've said, please comment what you would like to see next. And I just want to give a big thank you to my patrons over here. Without these guys, a lot of this stuff wouldn't be possible. By supporting me on Patreon, you not only allow me to fly, but also buy the equipment and stuff that I need to be able to make these videos. And then obviously a big thank you to just my long-time sponsor, Camarosa. They have given me the ability to actually fly in some competitions early in this year. They also were the ones that were backing me going into the TVNZ interview, which I did. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it down below. Anyways guys, that's it from me. I have a video for you down over here. Flying the Yak 52, this is the complete IRL type rating that I did when I first started flying the Yak 52. Otherwise, I have this video over here which shows you what I'm trying to do going forward in the future and joining the World Championship Air Race. So, thanks guys once again, and I'll see you on the next one. Onwards and upwards.